We're the Con Guys, and this is the Con Guys Show, coming to you straight from the nerdy heart of Hollywood, California.
Hey, this is Jim with theconguy.com.
She's been here with theconguy.com.
Katie here, aka the Con Girl.
Zordon did not want 5 teenagers with attitude.
My name is Derek Sam.
I'm Danae Sams, and that's my brother.
We are your home for news, opinions, and interviews from the world of Comic-Cons and fandoms. Your ultimate insiders for all things con.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Con Guy. A very special episode tonight. You will notice our fearless leader, Jim Fry, is missing from the podcast tonight, and that's because he's been kidnapped by aliens. Not really. Jim...
I'm sure they'll bring him right back.
Right. Jim, unfortunately...
They won't want to keep him.
Some pressing issues tonight, so I'm introducing us at the top of the show. So welcome, everybody. Like I said, this is a very special edition of the Con Guy podcast that we're very excited to bring to you because tonight's show will be a little shorter than our regular shows, and we're going to be talking all about one topic tonight, and that is the Renaissance Pleasure Faire. Yeah! I expect
Huzzah!
Huzzah! There
Huzzah!
we go. Huzzah! But let's go around and introduce ourselves first. Who do I have directly to this direction, whichever direction this is on your screens?
Well, it's me on my screen, so I hope it's the same for everybody else. Hello, everyone. My name is Danae Sams. I'm one of the Con Girls of the Samblings. Go Con Girls. And yeah, I just did my first ever Ren Fest, and I'm stoked to discuss it with everyone here.
All right, and next up, Cheese. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
You're muted.
Cheese, you're muted.
Unmuting myself. I was downloading stuff. It's Cheeseman here with theconguy.com, one of the founding members, social media director, and screenwriter.
And Katie, go ahead and jump in.
What's up? It is another one of the Con Girls and OGs for here at the Con Guy, Katie. It was not my first Ren Faire. Neither was it Ben's, but I finally got to do something that we have been wanting to do since before the pandemic, which was take the others to Ren Faire, and I'm excited to talk about it.
And I am Ben Cleaver. I'm not a founding member, but I am a longtime host and guy involved with the Con Guy. Real quick shout out off the top of the show here. A special thank you to that hashtag show who is broadcasting us on one of their channels and hosts a lot of our stuff and just partners with us on a ton of stuff. Of course, main sponsors for hashtag show, Neft Vodka, reminding you to please drink responsibly, as well as toink.com. Tons of cool stuff there. And Cheese, go ahead and bring that comment up on the screen so that we can properly start this show. You see that Facebook comment there, Cheese? Blood good.
I feel like that's the only reason that Kat always shows up. Is
Kat tunes in just to make a comment so that I scream blood good. Thanks for watching tonight, Kat. It's always good to see you in the chat there. So one thing that's really fun for those of us who are in Southern California, every year during the months of April and May, on the weekends, there is the Renaissance Pleasure Faire. It's held out in a town called Irwindale, next to a public park, state park dam facility, state park thing. And it is actually, I don't know if you guys knew this, Katie probably knows this, but it is actually the original Renaissance Fair. It was the concept of the Renaissance Fair was invented in Los Angeles, and the Pleasure Fair out in Irwindale developed out of that. And now there are Renaissance fairs all over the country. I went to one when I was a little kid in Wichita, Kansas. And so it's just incredible. I know there's a huge one out in Texas. Luke, you had been to a Renaissance Fair in Ohio prior to coming out here, haven't you?
Yeah, there was a few of them me and my friends went to, and we went like a few years in a row, and we'd take like a video camera with us and basically do our own kind of like jackass of just acting like complete idiots that we'd almost get kicked out every time we'd be there because we were just ridiculous and probably not the favorite people at the Ren Fair at the time because we were young, obnoxious, and drinking hard ciders and stuff like that. But we had fun though. Eventually, maybe I'll post some of that stuff online.
I don't
And this
remember the last time I heard the word video camera.
Right.
Video
Isn't this
camera
the-
with many DV tapes.
DVT.
Wasn't this the 50th anniversary, or did they say 60th anniversary?
You know what?
They said-
I don't remember, but it's
It
one of
was-
those.
Yeah, they said it when we got there, and I can't remember if it was 50 or 60 years, but it was a big anniversary year this year.
Yeah. So it obviously has been going for a really long time. And it was a blast. I've been to the Ren Fair many years. Katie's been to the Ren Fair many years. As we mentioned, Luke has been to a different one before. But Danae, did you say this was your first time going to a Ren Fest or a Ren Fair?
It was my very first time at any Renaissance thing, unless you count the time I went to Scotland and went in some castles.
Well,
That was more just like actual, like the reality of it. The Ren Fair is pretending. But yeah, so
wait, what? It's not real?
Jim
Not
Fry,
real. What are you
LA,
talking about? There was a TARDIS there, Ben.
There was
That
a TARDIS
seems
there,
pretty
it's true.
real to me.
Hello, fellow RenCon goers. Jim Fry, LA. Now, Jim is stuck at work, I believe, is what's going on with him. But he is tuning in, so we're happy to hear from you. I'm really sad that Jim's not on the show because it was also Jim's first time at a Renaissance fair, and he was like a kid in a candy shop. He was nuts about this place. He kept saying, "I think I found my people." Like he was stoked about this. So I'm kind of sad Jim's not on the show tonight just to kind of talk, but we'd have another, hour and 90-minute show.
I have something of Jim's from the fair that he asked me to hold in my backpack because I was the fair mom and I really wanted to show it, if you can see it barely here, but it's basically a note that's burnt along the edges to look awesome. It says, General Kenobi, years ago you served my father in the Clone Wars, etc. And I think, wasn't it somebody who was in a R2-D2 themed Ren outfit that handed this to him?
Yep. Oh, Jim says, I'm gonna do a drop-in in a few. All right. we better get-
Okay.
Our dad is coming to hang out with us. I'm so excited.
So Danae, what were some of your experiences at Renaissance Fair that, first of all, do you want to go back either this year before it closes or next year?
I doubt I could make it back this year before it closes, but yeah, I would love to go back again, especially if I'm going to go with you guys. It was just so much fun to travel around as a group. For one, I mean, just the opportunity for us to hang out in person was amazing. Because we haven't done that in like ever. I mean, I've joined. There he is!
Jim Fry,
Yeah!
Ren Faire virgin.
I'm gonna stop. I can stop by for a minute. If I can get a light turned on here. Oh, I guess I should plug it in. Give me a second.
What if Jim, for those of you who can't recognize Jim, the con guy logo himself is making an appearance.
Oh, it's a
Soon to be the Ren guy, the Ren
Yeah.
Fair guy.
I was listening and I just couldn't resist. Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah.
Because I do have to work. A company that I work for, which shall remain nameless, decides that, oh, you can work all night long. Who cares? And then be up at 7 in the morning. Yeah. But I heard Danae talking that she had the special thing that I got. Ren Fair for me was amazing. And I think I heard Ben say it was my kind of people. No, I'm not talking about the smelly, unwashed people pre-deodorant times, although that's pretty close to on target for me as well. But no, it was so cool because it was like people. It was kind of like the Comic-Con folks, that you cosplay and you do, but it was a different level. It was just they owned it. I mean, not like one's better or not, but like, this has been going on for what? 20, 30 years, 50 years, something like that. It's a
No, it's this was like year 50 or 60. We couldn't remember the exact year.
all I know is I had a blast. I was surprised how big it was. I didn't know it was going to be quite that big. I thought, it was a festival, so it's, maybe 20 acres, but it was all over the place. And you had to keep walking, and it was a hot day, and I wanted to get a kilt, but I just
there. It seems like.
Anyways, I'm gonna give it back to you guys because I do have to go to work, but I wanted to come on to say yes, I was a Ren Faire virgin, but no more. I'm going back next time I get a chance, and I guess it goes on.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, next weekend.
Yeah, so
Jim,
they
I'm
will.
so glad we got to lose our Ren Faire virginity together.
Anyways, I just wanted to stop in. Love you guys, and long live the Ren Faire. Bye-bye.
Oh, that was our fearless leader, Jim, coming in to tell us about how much he loved Ren Faire. We had a great time. Luke, what kind of media do we have to show the people tonight?
We got some photos, so why don't we start with this one? We got the group shot of all of us together and a nice little horse riding shot here.
Is that a picture from the fair? Because I don't remember the guy with the red and black.
Yeah, I think that's probably just kind of just something online Jim found.
Oh, okay.
This beautiful logo for us to open the show, which I missed, but we can close the show with it.
Use the proper spelling though. Faire.
That is spelled right.
However, that is not the website. Just so you know, if you do want to find out any more about the Ren Faire, it is renfair.com. Not there is no E at the end of the website.
True.
Who are these?
Yes. Jim, Luke, and myself. Now, Luke had this great polyester pirate costume from 8th grade. And
basically 15 years ago, I pulled it out of a box. Smelled horrible. I almost threw up when I put it on because it's so bad. So I just sprayed it down multiple times with Febreze just to wear it. But I kind of, I don't know what I look like. I'm supposed to be a pirate.
Well, you were having fun, and you do look like a pirate. And Jim was like, I don't even know where to start. So he's in shorts and a t-shirt, which is very typical of a Ren Faire virgin. There is no judgment there. But we'll get him geared up a little bit more by the next time. My outfit has slowly been pieced together over many years of Ren Fairing, and as you can see, I have my McLeod tartan kilt that I wear, along with a sleeveless poet shirt because sun's out, guns out.
I mean, it takes a while though.
It does.
Like,
it absolutely
like I had another friend who goes and they were like, I finally, after years of collecting these pieces, either at RenCon or other places as well, it's like I finally was able to get this look done. And I mean, I didn't make a new look, but I definitely had to like pull together random pieces that I already had. So
look at Katie's dope like Viking dress with
hair by Danae.
Hair by Danae. Yeah, go ahead and talk about this.
Yeah, so this is a dress I actually made for a con years ago, but there's usually bell sleeves on it, or really big flowy sleeves on it that I took off to make it look more Viking, which I think was a good call, especially because it was hot. And then I literally just made the harness with the fur on it like a couple days before. And then the bone pins, which are the things that I have accumulated over the last times that I've been to Ren Faire. I always get at least one. This one is Danae's that she got.
That's the one I got.
I don't
For
know
those
if
listening, a bone pin is just a little pin you can put on. I've got mine right here, but it says the way to a man's heart is between the 3rd and 4th ribs.
Yeah, Luke, can you put up the the portrait picture of me, like the one that was like zoomed in more?
This one?
Yeah, you can't read my pins on there, but I have like 8 or 9 of them, and I bought a couple more. Like I bought one that said "Toss a coin to your Witcher" that was a retired one. I like to buy the ones that are like new because every year they make new ones. This is my roommate. I have another picture of hers. I made her. Oh, and so finishing on my look though, I made the chainmail for Lady Sif in 2013, and so I pulled that back out for this. And then I made Emily's belt, the like corset belt, and her gauntlets. And she glued the fur on her boots. So and that belt is what she used for. It's a Ray belt from Disneyland. Oh, but it works.
Hey.
So I mean, and then I made a belt that I could hang stuff on, but I have my drinking horn from another Ren Faire you know. So you kind of gather up all these pieces, because if you buy everything, unless you have the money to spend, it's expensive, because a lot of the stuff that you buy at Ren Faire is handmade. It's not something you can make easily, and the materials can be expensive. So I mean, you can leave there in a full suit of armor if you want to, but it's going to cost you a few $1,000s.
Yeah.
So you see people, and you can, it's interesting, and I'm sure Luke can touch on this and Danae can touch on this, but you can see the people who are, you can kind of tell, like, oh, these people are like newer to Ren Faire. You know, you'll hear them being like, where's this? What do we do? And like, you don't know. And it's kind of fun because everybody will help each other out. Like, I heard someone be like, where's the bone pins? And I'm like, oh, just keep walking that way and you'll get right there and stuff. So you kind of just like talk to random people all the time at Ren Faire, but also you can see who the veterans are, because everybody's got, you know, their belts and all their cups. And Ben has a pretty sick cup that he has collected as well over the years. So, you know, because everybody, if people bring their own cup, it's nice. You just have a themed cup mug running around Ren Faire, so you don't have to use a plastic cup.
And there are a lot of places to buy them too. You can buy, you know, mugs or cups made from horns, you know, like cattle horns or whatnot. You can get pewter mugs, which I actually, my wife and I have 3 between us, pewter mugs that are pretty great for drinking out of. You can get all kinds of different, ram's horns, I think, are some of the drinking horns as well. So there's there's a ton of stuff. I mean, it is a festival, so there's a lot of stuff to buy, and there's a lot of merchants that are there. Leather, metal, jewelry. The bone pins, for the uninitiated, I think they're carved out of beef bones. Is that correct, Katie? Do you know?
I can't remember exactly.
Or are they actually made of bone anymore? I know they originated as being carved out of bone, but I don't know if they're still.
I think they might have started as, I think they started as buffalo, but I don't know if they.
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
Use buffalo.
I don't know if they still use buffalo bones or bones at all, but they're called bone pins, and they're all the same. They're carved out of well, whatever they're carved out of, and they're a little oval, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches.
We'll try to grab one
across. I'm doing this for the people who are just listening, but yeah. So there you go. And they'll usually have cheeky sayings on them, like, for example, Danae's that says the way to a man's heart is between the 3rd and 4th ribs. But there's a lot of them that are pretty great. What did mine say? I had one on my kilt, and I can't remember which one I was wearing. I have one that says "Chewy, we're home," which I love. So it's, you know, there's a lot of different. I have one that says "F cancer."
They do charity ones too. And also they fix them. They will not replace them, but they will fix them. Last year I had one that the backing came off of, and they re-glued it there and just had come back in an hour and pick it back up. So
nice.
Another cool thing. The one I got this year was yes, I'm a girl. Yes, I play video games.
There you go.
This is an older one, the first mate then cuddle. And then this is another one of the older ones, cleverly disguised as a responsible adult. So
Kristen Gust just commented on here regarding our bone pin conversation on Facebook. They will make custom bone pins too. They're awesome. Yes, that is absolutely correct. You can get custom made ones there from the shops. I don't know. Do they do them right at the fair, or do you have to order them?
I'm not sure. I never asked him. I feel like I asked about him once, but I forgot. But what's interesting about it is, like, you know how there's that phrase, like, what isn't a cult but looks like one? If you go to Ren Faire and you see the people who go every year, we kind of do, because everybody has this, like, all these pins that they've collected, and it almost looks like a currency. Like, you would think it was like a currency or like a rite of passage, which, I mean, it kind of is. But it's fun to see everybody's and be like, oh, where's that one? And they're like, oh, I got this like 10 years ago, or I got this like 5 years ago. So. And
they'll discontinue them. You know, they'll only make a certain number of them, and then, you know, they're gone. But
that's where I got my Witcher. My Witcher one was in the discontinued one. It said toss a coin to your Witcher. I'm like, I need that, and it will be there next time. Probably.
Kristen says you can order them and pick them up on a different day, or they will ship them. So that is
awesome.
Great. Now, bone pins are not the only things there. You can get kilts, you can get full costumes, you can get, as Katie said, full suits of armor. And speaking of suits of armor, we had quite the experience as the Con Guide team. We went to see a jousting tournament. talk about that. Danae.
So resident horse girl of the group. I had a fantastic time. I was just taking pictures and videos of horses. I loved it. They did say one was a shire, and I had to take a picture and send it
Oops, she
to
paused.
my barn mom because I was like, I don't think that's actually here. It doesn't look like it's got enough hands on it. Hands is a unit of measurements, how tall a horse is. It was actually founded during Henry VIII's reign, so it's a Renaissance term that we still use today. Fun fact. Yeah, we went to the special show. What was it called, you guys?
Duel to the death.
Duel to the death.
Yes.
Fake bloods. I think my favorite part of it though was as we left, girls and guys split for a bit to do a couple different things, and the three girls, we met up with the three knights from the tournament on our way out, and my third massive hard seltzer, so I don't totally remember what they said. But Katie, do you remember what happened?
I don't remember exactly what they said, but basically, like, we were walking through the area of the fair where it's all the activities you can do, like knife throwing, crossbows, all sorts of things, because they have all those types of activities where you can pay like $10 for 10 shots, which is not a bad shots, like throws, I should say, not like shots like drinking. Although I'm sure you can do plenty of that there too, but we'll talk about later. But and they basically were like, oh wait, we'll protect, or well, they like walked with us. And they're like, oh, we've got some like maidens here that need protecting. And then as soon as we got out of that area, they're like, okay, now we're out of the danger zone. You're on your own.
Yeah, it was just really cute. It was so fun to see people in character there.
Still bloody, by the way. Still bloody when we saw them.
Still bloody. Still looked amazing.
That was hilarious.
One cool thing I did notice about this, and I feel like I see this most of the time at the big conventions, but whenever we're at like a nerdy event, it's so different to me from when you go to a sporting event because you don't really run into the rude people. Maybe I've just been incredibly lucky and I've avoided them, but it's not like you don't see people getting in fights because they're, you know, in different costumes. You don't see people getting upset because they're rooting for different people. Like Katie said, somebody was like, oh, where are the bone pins? And she was just like, oh, they're right down that way. It was just genuinely people all there to have a good time. And I didn't see anybody having a bad time. That doesn't mean somebody didn't, but it was just
it might be a California thing though, because the first time I went in Ohio, so I was dressed up like a pirate, and I saw these pirates coming up, and my friend who had this like little kid's knight outfit on, I had his sword in my hand, and I went up to one of the pirates and I was like, "Arr!" and stuff, and then this pirate like looked at me aggressively, pulled out his wooden sword and literally snapped the plastic one in half out of my hand, looked me in the eye like he was going to kill me, and then walked away. And I was like, whoa, that was intense.
Well, you were in Ohio. What did you expect?
Ohio,
man. About things.
People in Ohio are angry because they live in Ohio.
Yeah, I would be angry all the time if I lived in Ohio.
Hey,
but what's another interesting thing to note about that today's talking about in that sense is that everybody there is somewhat in character regardless. You know, like you'll see a kid riding on a dad's back and someone will be like, oh, that's a nice steed you got there to the kid. Yeah. I mean, it's all in good fun. It is family friendly, but know that some of the entertainment at Ren Faire is not family friendly. Like,
'tis a bit rude.
Yes, but it's fun. No one gets offended though. Like that's what's nice about it. Is they're just like, I'm gonna say this. Deal with it.
Speaking of the interesting part of why why it's interesting that people aren't getting in fights or getting offended or anything is there is a lot of drinking at Ren Faire, which Katie mentioned we'd get into. This year was a little bit different because of COVID-19 precautions. They didn't have any active taps. They usually have a lot of the drinking establishments have taps with beer and cider and various types of things like that. This year they were only distributing any types of beverages, alcoholic or otherwise, in cans. I think it was just cans. I don't think there were bottled cans or plastic bottles.
Yeah, the only thing I saw was the oubliette did have sodas that were in a cup. but that was the only time I saw it all day.
So that was a little bit different than normally. You can get what's called a rinse and a chill, where they'll take your mug that we mentioned earlier, whatever kind of mug you have, they'll rinse it out in a big tub of ice water and then just let it sit with ice in it while they like make up your drink, and then they'll dump it out, because they pour the drinks into a plastic cup and then they'll dump the water out of your cup and pour the drink, or you can pour the drink into, I think.
Yeah.
I think they're not allowed legally, technically, to pour the drink into your cup. That's a whole like California liquor law thing.
I did load a couple of video clips. I do have you and or Danae having your drink if one of you wants your clip shown.
I mean, my mom's not. My mom isn't watching, so I'm okay if we play mine.
Okay.
Disclaimer to people who are listening or watching: this gets a little NSFW. So
little update for work out there, folks.
Just heads up.
Innuendo. Let's set this up really quickly and then we'll jump into the video. So La Oubliette, which is a drinkery. It's a drinking establishment, or more like well, never mind. It's a drinking establishment that's at the Ren Faire, and it's notorious for having this kind of dirty innuendo aura about it, because they will do all this innuendo language while you're being served your drink. But they also do this thing called pony rides, which is where they will almost feed your drink to you. Is that a proper term?
Yeah.
But and they'll talk dirty to you, and it's pretty fun. And as we said, it's all in good fun. It's everybody knows that nobody's being taking this seriously or getting offended by it. But Cheeseman, go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage.
Lips on that tip and start sucking. Lick it, love it, work it harder, faster. That's it, right there. Keep going. Keep going. Open that throat. There you go. That's the spot. Right there. Suck it, and swallow. Good girl. Don't worry about the wet spot. Just means you enjoyed it.
So what's funny about that is that normally it's women that do this.
But this at the end of the day, I'd had 3 drinks and I finally saw a man there and I was like, can you do it?
And so she got that experience. But
we could show Ben's as well, which is with a.
Does no one have? Do you not have yours or Jim's?
Where's Luke? Where is yours? Where is Jim's?
Someone else can film on my. I might have some of Jim's, but this I filmed vertically, and these look better horizontally.
Well,
some perverted.
For the opposite for the gender swap here, we can roll the video of me doing it then if you want.
All right. Hopefully we won't get you in the doghouse.
Thanks, baby. What are you having?
I kind of want to do that black cherry seltzer.
Hell yes. Do you belong to anything?
I belong with all of them. Yes.
Do you belong to any of them more than the others?
No.
He belongs to me.
My significant is at home.
Sounds like you belong to me.
Oh, yeah.
Keep it firmly grasping.
All right. We'll do.
Top to top. Finish it by hand. Put your lips on that tip, darling. Suck it like you do. Faster. Suck that nectar way. Down deep, show me why you're the ship captain's first matey. And swallow.
What do I owe you?
16.
What do I owe you?
What do I owe you?
The people who are just listening to this are going to be like, what the heck is happening? But also, by the way, usually they don't, like Ben said, they don't normally do cans, which was an interesting experience because it's a little bit different, as Ben and I have done it before to know that it is a little bit different. It's a little bit harder when they are using a glass and they are pouring into it while you are drinking because it can overflow. So normally that is how they
cold? Because that was my biggest, it was just so cold it was hard to chug it. For some reason.
They're cold when it's the other way also. They're on tap, like Ben said.
I don't know if it's as cold because those cans have just been sitting in ice, but so it's not quite as cold when you get something on tap because it's at a regulated temperature. But yeah, what they'll do is they'll set the plastic cup when they have the taps on the edge. You put your lips on it and it's filled to the brim, and then they just pour like a chocolate port or something, some other heavy wine on top of it.
Yes.
And so that you have to keep drinking, otherwise the thing's going to overflow. And so that there's a little bit more skill, I think, maybe to the traditional way. But who said, are we going to get you in the doghouse?
Oh, I did.
That was what Luke said.
Look, my wife introduced me to the oubliette. So like, it's not, that's never going to be a problem.
Although I will say they don't always put it on the counter, because if you're short like I am and can't reach the counter,
True.
they will hold it over the counter for you, which I think is harder because you're kind of already on your tiptoes and having to balance while doing it. And let me tell you, that's an added challenge as someone who is vertically challenged. And then like Ben, like as you saw, Ben was able to hold on to the restraints that are up above him, which I can't do because I am short. But
I didn't even know that like I saw them up there, but then she was like, "Put your hands up there," and I was like, "Oh!"
I think that was new this year.
I think
I haven't seen them in the past. Maybe they did.
They might have been. I don't know.
I got mead. They all drank like seltzer, but I did it twice. I did mead both times. And granted, it's different than the mead that they normally sell because they can't sell it this year. But like, so it's a lot different when you've had a mead at 10 o'clock in the morning. So.
All right. Well, we did say this was going to be an abbreviated edition of the Con Guy. What else do we need to hit before we bid our lovely viewers adieu?
I could show a few little things too. I've got a couple little other short things, but Danae, you show us what you got first.
Oh, I was so excited. I got pewter necklaces. I saw them from Emily first after we got there. I can share this because she's not going to be watching. I bought them for my best friend because one of our favorite shows is The Tudors, which is a part of the Renaissance time. And we got to see it being poured and made in real time. This is a Tudor rose, BT dub. And yeah, that was just so cool because this is a style that would have been worn at the time. And yeah, it was like watching a sword get forged and then you get to take it out and hit stuff with it.
And that's
I
also
bought an ocarina that's shaped like a shark.
Yeah.
Nice.
The pewter necklaces is also a very popular place for people to go. They have a line all day, and they're $7, and they pour it and make it in front of you. So it's a great deal.
That's a heck of a price.
Yeah. With the initial, it was still the same price.
Yep.
Nice.
Can we see the shark up close again?
Yeah.
Sure.
Luke wants to see the shark.
Of course. But
so it makes a noise too if you blow into it?
It does. So like Link in
Ocarina of Time.
And Ocarina. I'll never so we walked in, we were in there for like 10 minutes with Katie and Emily, like, you know, guys, don't buy anything yet. We have to shop around and look at everything and see what we want. And not 2 minutes later, I had paid for this shark-shaped ocarina. And I have a little thing. I'm trying to learn how to play Ode to Joy. We'll see if it happens or not.
That's pretty cool. Now, what was this?
Okay, so this man runs up to me. We're waiting to go in. This guy runs up to me with a slip of paper, and he says, "My lady, I have been, charged to hand you this message." He was way cooler than I was just now. But it says, for those of you listening, "We have been trying to reach thee in regard to thy extended cart warranty."
See, that's the kind of stuff I love about Faire. Like, it's in character, but doesn't take itself like it's all in fun. It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah, Danae had a run-in with a Puritan. A drive-by. Why are you smiling? It was funny because she just was like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Oh, you just got heckled by a Puritan."
Oh, I laughed, and then I was scolded for laughing by that same Puritan.
Me and Ben had some luxury pizza there.
Yes, delicious Renaissance style pizza.
I also had some chocolate bacon.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Very good. And I had some glazed pecans as well, which I thought I had a picture of, but don't have that right now.
I ate the chocolate covered strawberries that had bacon dust on them, and I would not recommend. I did not like them.
Okay.
I think it was just because it was hard to eat because it's like the chocolate was hard and the bacon was falling off, like so. But it was weird, and it was the weird proportions. But I did buy 3 jars of pickled ginger, and a pickled garlic, and one jar of pickled garlic, tomatillo garlic salsa, which we already ate half of, so we're gonna have to go to their website. But yeah, the pickled garlic, there was like samples, and they have like flavored salts and like all these different things that you can cook with at the Ren Faire as well. So they kind of cover all the bases. No meat pies this year. That's the one thing I wanted to be sad about. Usually they have a station, and it's near the oubliette, where you can buy like meat pies that are like this big. They're like a snack size. And they're so good. And they like run out of certain flavors, so you can only get like certain ones later in the day. And all I wanted after 2 years of not going to the Ren Faire was a damn meat pie, and they weren't there this year. Which is interesting too, because Luke and Danae, you would have seen people, if they had the meat pies, people will bring their own plate and like a fork or spoon, and they'll be eating the meat pie with those too. But they didn't have the meat pies this year, so.
That sounds delicious. I would definitely would have gotten one of those.
Oh, same. That would have been amazing.
Now, did our night win?
Yes.
Yes, our night won. In the
just a real short clip of the jousting that happened.
Yes. The horse's name was Jasmine, for anyone who is curious.
Ooh. So here's the clip real quick. Now, can someone say what the rules were for the jousting?
So the joust was a points-based scoring system. So if the two guys obviously ran at each other with their lances, or galloped towards each other with their lances on their noble steeds, I think it was if you struck the shield, it was 1 point. If you impaled the shield, it was 2, and if you took the other guy off
shield
his horse,
and got it, and if the impaled shield was still on was like on the lance when they continued to go, it was 3 points.
Right. So then they had to like impale the shield and then raise it up in the air to show that it was on the end of their lance. And it was 3 points. So it was just a points-based system. And yeah, our knight won, and then they got off their horses and sword fought. And we went to the adults show where they used fake blood, as you can see in the photo here, and killed each other. Well, simulated killing each other, because then at the end of the show, they all got up and took a bow. And as we mentioned earlier, the girls saw them walking through the, the festival and just still covered in fake blood. And but yeah, a good time was had by all. Do we have any more media, Cheese?
Yeah, there was one other thing like I really enjoyed there.
Oh, Mooney. Mooney is incredible. He is he's like a vaudevillian actor and comedian out of Chicago who comes out to the Renaissance Fair during April and May every weekend to do a show. And it's how he makes his living, is doing this live performance comedy. He also does music that he releases. He has albums and that sort of thing, comedy based, as I understand it. And Mooney is just an incredible performer, and we had a great time. None of these folks had seen Mooney before. I had seen him perform before, both solo act as well as with Brune. They do another fella named Brune. They do a show together called Mooney and Brune. And that's a lot of fun too. Brune also is similar in that he does comedy and does kind of variety performance and that sort of thing. But a lot of what Mooney did was juggling based, and he was juggling torches and all kinds of things. And the most of his act involves him using whistles and other sounds to communicate. He does.
Yes, guys, my battery is low. You guys might lose me. Sorry, I'm just letting you guys know in case it goes out.
Okay.
I'm trying to find my my plug, but so.
I do have a clip of a little bit of Mooney if we want to show him.
Let's do it. Roll it.
Cool. I'm gonna roll Mooney.
Just a little.
Go.
Oh, God. Sorry, my bad. I had come to rely on you. Oh.
Yeah! Woo! Yeah!
All right. And we lost Katie, unfortunately.
Oh, we lost Katie during the video. Oh, that's okay. Jim is tuning in on YouTube, and he just said, "What the heck is happening to Katie?" Her battery died on her computer, and she was looking for the cord, and I guess she didn't find it in time. But that being said, let's go ahead and wrap the show. We just hit 41 minutes, which is about a quarter of what we usually do. And so final thoughts on Ren Faire, particularly from YouTube, because this was your first Renaissance Pleasure Fair in Southern California. Cheeseman, go first, and we'll wrap up with Danae.
All right. Yeah, so like I said, I've gone in Columbus, Ohio years ago. So like I honestly have not been to one in probably nearly 14 or 15 years since, I moved out to California and all that. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot bigger than, you think, because as we were talking about Jim being there, he kept stopping at every booth along the way. And then Ben was like, Jim, this thing goes on for a while. There's going to be a lot of, different places to look and everything, but it was really cool how it looped around. The jousting thing was not something I got in Ohio. So that was really cool and unexpected for me to see that. And then the Mooney thing, me loving just kind of silly kind of comedy type stuff. I really probably enjoyed that. That was one of my favorite things to watch as well. So I enjoyed that. Had a little bit of the food there, not a whole lot. The lines were pretty long, but we made our way pretty well through drink lines, which they did a really good job with those, especially and stuff. So those pies sounded amazing. I hopefully next time can have those and hopefully get a little bit better of a costume as I go. Although the little pirate one can be fun and stuff. My little cheap Halloween costume I had back when I was a poor college kid with not a lot of money and would have to go to a costume store and could spend no more than $20 and all that. But overall, the experience was fun. But being with these lovely people was the best thing about it. And also, we went to Spaghetti Factory after, and I was introduced to browned butter pasta, which was phenomenal and something I'll always remember as well.
Well, glad that is a tradition as well. We saw a lot of Ren Faire people at Old Spaghetti Factory as well. Danae, tell me about what you're going to remember, what you loved, and wrap us up here.
Well, I went in with an open mind. I was expecting to just hang out with you guys and have a pleasant day. I ended up having an amazing time. I was expecting to have fun, but I had so much more fun than I was anticipating. So even if you think Ren Faire may not be your thing, give it a chance. If it's near you, go in with an open mind, wear comfortable walking shoes and comfortable clothing for your first time would be my recommendation, and bring a lot of cash. But yeah, it was just so awesome to be able to hang out with you. I don't think I have ever hung out with all of you because I really joined, all of us together. I knew you all from different things, but I didn't join Con Guy until after COVID. And that was our first time really hanging out together as a con crew, minus Derek, but we'll get him next time. And yeah, I was not expecting the jousting or just how awesome it was going to be. Even though I've said that word 50 times, it was really great. I just was blown away by how much fun it would be.
Sometimes awesome's the perfect word to describe Ren Faire. And really quickly, pull up this Facebook comment from Kristen Gust, because I think this sounds interesting. If it ever gets back to, quote, normal, y'all need to go to Dickens Fair in San Francisco. Now that I know nothing about Dickens Fair, but I think Danae might be excited about it. I am going to have to look this up because it sounds like, if it's anything like what I'm imagining in my brain right now, it sounds amazing. So we'll have to check that out. Although San Fran's a bit of a jaunt. So like a 45-minute flight. So anyway, that is our show tonight. The Con Guys Renaissance Fair special. If you are in the Southern California area and you have this coming weekend free, I believe it's the last weekend of the Renaissance Pleasure Fair, go to renfair.com, renfair.com, to check out any information about the Southern California Renaissance Pleasure Fair, the original Renaissance Fair, period. Not here, not there,
OG.
just the original, the OG. I've always loved it. Renaissance Fair is where I asked my wife to be my girlfriend. So, Kristen says it used to be inside the Cow Palace, so fairly immersive, usually before Christmas. Ah, I see. Okay. All right. Cool. I'm going to look it up. But yeah, thank you so much to everybody who tuned in. Thank you to that hashtag show who helps spread us out there. You can also see us or listen to us. You can see us on YouTube at the Con Guy YouTube page, or the that hashtag show YouTube page. And Luke, do you have that list of all the various places that you can listen to us online, or is it just basically anywhere you can get a podcast? You can get the Con Guy?
Pretty much that. Spotify, iTunes, all that. So all the major spots. Just look us up, the Con Guy Show, Con Guy Podcast, all that kind of stuff. YouTube, and if you want to see our lovely faces, of course.
Hex yeah, and be sure to check out theconguy.com. And real quick, my name is Ben Cleaver. You can find me on social media at BENKLIEWER, mostly Instagram and Twitter, but who knows what Twitter is going to turn into, but we'll see. Luke, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at CheeseOnCouch, and also theconguy.com.
And Danae, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram at DNAYS. And coming up next month, you can find Cleaver and me at the upcoming comedy festival right here in North Hollywood.
That's right. The first annual Comedy Chateau International Comedy Festival in North Hollywood, California, coming up in June. And Danae and I are both participating in that. If you didn't know, we both do stand-up comedy. We're both stand-up comics. And so I'm very excited about that. And I'm excited because I've never seen you perform live before. So I'm super stoked to see that.
I've never seen you perform live before. So I'm so excited.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much
for performing. They're awesome.
Oh, well, thanks.
Thanks, Luke. You're so
again, you can check out The Con Guy on Twitter at theconguy.com, DOTCOM, and on Instagram at, I believe, just at The Con Guy, right, Luke?
Yep.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much to everybody who tuned in tonight. Be sure to catch us on Monday nights with our live Con Guy Happy Hour show. And remember, everybody, I'm not drinking out of it tonight, but usually I'm drinking out of a red cup. And the reason is because whenever Ben Cleaver shows up, it's always a party. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening to The Con Guy Show, the official program of theconguy.com. Find us on the Weeby Geeks Collective or anywhere you listen to podcasts. And now on sci-fi.radio, Saturdays at 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific, both AM and PM. That's 9 o'clock Greenwich. It's sci-fi for your Wi-Fi.